Just as a rushing stream flows by and never returns, so too a human life, once gone, will never come back. This is the profound teaching of the world-honored one, found in the Samyukta Agama. O practitioner, dip your hands into the flowing river. How can you grasp again the waves that have already passed? Time is just like this. A breath once taken will never return. Therefore, do not waste this very moment. The flowers that bloomed abundantly in the spring fields fall impermanently with a single gust of autumn wind and vanish without a trace under the cold winter frost. The countless modern anxieties we face may seem to last forever, but they are ultimately nothing more than flowing waves. Do not struggle to hold on to the past that has left. Do not fear the future that has not yet come. You must place your mind only in this breathing moment. Just as a waterfall rushing down a slope never stops for a single moment, the lifespan of sentient beings is also like this, never pausing to linger even briefly. These words from the Udna sharply reflect the reality of our lives. O disciples, look at the heavy raindrops falling along the cliff. How long does that drop of water remain in the empty sky? Your life is exactly like that. So why waste your precious lifetime bound by vain greed? Just as the seasons change their clothes, our body and mind also change without stopping for a moment. In the midst of fierce competition, we struggle to get ahead of others and work day and night to gather wealth and honor. But before the time that falls like a waterfall, all of it is merely a futile sigh. At the crossroads of a life that flows without rest, you must pause your steps and look back at yourself. Just as the remaining thread decreases each time a weaving woman throws her shuttle, human life also diminishes day by day, heading towards its end. The Sutra on Impermanence says, "The fleeting nature of time is just like this. O practitioners, the thread hung on the loom is woven up line by line and eventually runs out with every single breath that you exhale without rest. Do not forget that the time left in your life is also decreasing." The ancient high monks gazed at the sunset and asked themselves, "Today again the thread of my life has shortened. What have I realized?" Are you wasting the precious thread of your life, hating and resenting in the midst of relationship conflicts? When you realize that you and others are bound by the same chain of dependent origination, hatred fades away and deep compassion begins to sprout. Just as a bird flying in the empty sky leaves no footprints behind, no burdens of the world can remain in the mind of one who has mastered their afflictions. As spoken in the Arhat chapter of the Dhammapada, the life of a wise one is free. O disciple, even if the wind passes through the forest, it is not bound by the forest. Even if a bird flies through the blue sky, it leaves no trace. Your mind is exactly like this. Only when you do not dwell on the past will you attain true peace. Sit quietly and observe your inhaling and exhaling breath. Simply contemplate thoughts arising and passing away. When you do not try to grasp or push them away, your mind becomes vast like the empty sky. Do not leave deep footprints in your mind by clinging to wounded memories or a single word spoken by others. Just as the originally bright sky reveals itself when the clouds clear, a mind that has let go of attachment shines on its own. Just as rust is born from iron, and eats away at that very iron. Greed arising from an undiscerning mind ultimately eats away at oneself. This is a word of warning, emphasized in the Samyutta Nikaya. O practitioners, what is more terrifying than an enemy from the outside? Is the greed and anger blooming within yourselves, just as iron is finally broken by the rust that came from its own body. A foolish mind leads its own life to ruin. Most of the suffering we experience does not start from the external environment, but from the discriminating mind and desire that views it. The greed to possess more and the envy of comparing oneself to others are like deadly rust that eats away at one's own soul. Recognizing the small sprout of desire blooming in my mind and practicing letting it go on my own is the very path to clearing the soul. Just as raindrops gathered on a lotus leaf roll off without seeping in, a wise person does not get wet in either the praise or blame of the world. This is the image of a sage, preached in the Sutta Nipata, or discipli, even if it rains. The lotus leaf does not get wet, even if the wind blows. The solid rock does not shake, one who is unshaken by the tributes the world offers, and the criticism it pours out, can truly be called one who walks the path. We are constantly shaken by the gaze of others, become arrogant at a small compliment, and despair at the criticism of others. However, the evaluation of the world is as fickle as morning mist, and merely passes by like the wind. Just as a lotus leaf rolls, the water drops away. When you lightly pass over the sounds of the world, inner self-esteem and quiet peace are finally protected. Just as a fierce flame burns up all the brushwood and fades away on its own. When the firewood of affliction runs out, the flame of the mind also stops and finally becomes quiet. This verse from the Ekotarika Agama awakens us to the state of tranquil nirvana. O practitioner, if you wish to extinguish a flame, before pouring water, you must first clear away the burning firewood. When you remove the firewood of anger and attachment in your mind, the flame of affliction will naturally fade, and silence will come. Observe the providence of autumn days, when all the leaves in the forest fall, and the dry branches become quiet on their own. Check if you are throwing more firewood yourself into the burning flames of anger and anxiety. When you let go of the firewood called attachment, one by one, the heat inside cools down, and finally a tranquility arrives that is not shaken by any trial. Firmly practice the right effort that you must do today, since you can never compromise with the army of death. One who promises tomorrow is foolish. This is the earnest teaching of restraint, contained in the Majjhima Nikaya. O disciples, no one can guarantee that tomorrow will come. The shadow of death comes without warning. If you do not awaken and polish your mind this very moment, only regret and lamentation will remain. Many people live their lives postponing a better life and realization to tomorrow and to the next opportunity. But time does not wait for us, and this very moment is the only time we can truly live. Offer a gentle word right here and now. Calm the anger in your mind and practice compassion. That is the right effort that allows you to stand proud even before death. Just as the bottom of a clear and deep lake reflects transparently, only one who has cleared away the muddy currents of the mind can correctly pierce through the providence of the world. This verse from the Visuddhimagga washes the mind cleanly. O practitioner, you cannot reflect the moon in the sky on muddy water, and you cannot look inside the water in a swirling current. Calm the greed and anger of your mind and cultivate it to be as clear as a mirror. Then you will realize for yourself that all things are connected to each other. When the rough waves of the lake stop and become quiet, the pebbles and fish settled at the bottom are clearly seen. Just like this, when the afflictions of the mind calm down, the true principle of dependent origination, that the whole universe is one with me, is clearly revealed. When you realize that all life is dignified and exists by relying on each other, deep compassion for the whole world springs up. When you clear away the cloudy mind and look at the world like a clear lake, only then does a life of perfect peace and wisdom begin. Namo Avalokiteshvara. The universe conspires to help you.